You're listening to the Final Say Radio Show, a Rappaport Media production, with your host Brett Rappaport and co-host John Rappaport.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have another guest with us. Welcome to the Final Say Radio Show. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much.
And I'm sorry if you could just share your
I am Jim Gilmore, the former governor of Virginia and president and CEO of the Free Congress Foundation.
Now, that's very interesting. Please explain that one to us.
Well, this is Paul Weyrich's old foundation.
Okay.
It's a 501c3. People can look at what we're doing at freecongress.org. But I can tell you what we're doing. The board asked me to come in and revitalize this conservative think tank. It's a tax-deductible organization, but we're focused on the absolute need for growth of the American economy. We were the first to really pitch this very, very hard. And my hope is that the idea of growth in the United States is embraced by the United States Congress. We also do some national security work, and we also have a transportation center as well, but it's all conservative thinking.
Let's get back to growth. We have been having this battle between the two parties about spending, taxes, spending again, taxes. And we all know that if we only grew our economy, you'd bring in more revenue to the nation, you'd have more people working, meaning less money going out to social programming, and it all around it benefits everything. Yet we're doing everything not to grow.
Exactly. Every policy that we're implementing right now at the national level is anti-growth. And this is the point that I've been making now for 2 years to my Republican colleagues, which is, for gosh sake, stop just talking exclusively about spending cuts and talk about growth. Because, after all, it's a winning political argument, if nothing else. If the Democrats want to raise taxes, which they do and relentlessly will, when they do that, they're anti-growth. Now, we have to spend some time talking about the consequences of a low-growth economy. The unemployed working people, young people who have careers that don't have opportunities, middle management people who suddenly got laid off and don't have a chance to support their families. These are the kinds of messages that are the real message of conservatism that make it so important to us.
I want to add to what you just said. The guys who are 50 years old who become unemployed often find themselves permanently unemployed unless they go to areas that they never dreamed of working in, because they've been out of work, they're no longer up to par with where that industry is, and then no one wants to hire them because they want to go with somebody younger and less expensive anyway. Then you have those who have been on unemployment benefits for 3 or 4 years. We were approaching 4 years, I think. And these people are in the same situation. When they go on a job interview, the first thing they're asked is, well, what have you been doing for the last 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Why would I want to hire you when you've been sitting home? There are other people who have found jobs.
The point is that growth of the economy is a conservative message. And you can't do it if you're going to end up raising taxes like the opposite of the left wants to do, because then you tamp the economy down. And what does that mean? That means that person you were talking about, that 50-year-old guy who's worked very successfully in life, was making 120, is now making 60. And he's supporting his family because he's a worker. But now all of a sudden he's dropped back $60,000. When you multiply this across the entire economy of the United States, you're diminishing the success of your nation. It is the conservatives, the only ones who are really talking about what needs to be done.
Well, there's Brett brought up basically the concept of a stagnant business being, right? An individual who, after you're stagnant, it's just like my wife. Once she left, we made a choice to move into a lower-cost state from New Jersey to North Carolina so she could stay home and raise the children. When it was time to go back to work, this very accomplished woman had a hard time because she was stale. And what I would say is take that to a higher level. Almost a nation, we have entire cities, entire sections of our economy where the skills have become, they're either non-existent or they've just become stale. And so what you end up doing is not only are we less competitive within the country, we're less competitive against the world.
Well, that's right. And we at Free Congress have developed an actual program that would grow the economy of the United States. We call it the Growth Code. You can find it on freecongress.org. It's advised by economists, and we know exactly what will work. And furthermore, the program is good for Democrats, too. They like it, too, according to the polling we did. They like the Growth Code because it's a program that offers more opportunities to regular working people. But we conservatives are the originators of this. We're the ones who want to see opportunity for people, not the other side. They want to tax more and reduce opportunity and reduce growth. We conservatives want to grow this economy. Let's take the example of your wife, for example. You know, if there were a robust economy, she'd have no trouble whatsoever. Now, we can also advocate for better education. We can advocate for more opportunity for people across the board. Once you begin to move into the area of a robust economy and growth, everything good happens for conservatives and for Americans.
It's interesting. What we've seen for the last few years is the introduction of a lot of jobs bills and these, so-called growth bills. And what it really is we've had a lot of very short-term projects that have been done, such as building guardrails and putting up signs and fixing a little bridge somewhere. And in these job training programs, we already have God knows how many and how many different administrations, and they keep adding to them. And so you have 3 or 4 groups literally doing the same thing in the same market, but in numerous markets this is going on. And to me, we're wasting taxpayer dollars, and I want to come back to something else. As people's incomes are decreasing, and they have significantly since this latest administration, and we'll probably see more of this over the next 4 years, but as the incomes go down, so do the tax revenues, because most of the tax revenues are coming from those who are in the higher tax bracket.
You are absolutely right.
And this administration, their answer is tax more, which will only further that problem.
Well, there's another insidious problem that we're facing, and that is the culture and philosophy that's being put forward by the administration. What they're really doing is trying to persuade the American people that somehow people making money are bad people. We don't actually care about rich people per se. What we care about is getting people who have money to invest, because investment is what creates jobs, and that's what we want to do. Now, I want to say again, we can be for education, and we can be for cutting spending too. There's no point in growing the economy and then just spending it all. You can get ahead here by controlling spending and growing the economy. But I'm going to tell you something. I've watched what's going on in the United States Congress. They give lip service to growth, but they have no idea what to do. Once again, freecongress.org has done this work. The Growth Code at least provides an answer, and we hope to bring it to people's attention.
Yeah, no, I'm actually glad that you've come, because we discuss a lot of economics on the program, and we'd like to get rid of our tax code altogether and just start over with a very simple thing. You make $1, you pay 20 cents. Whatever the amount is, just very simple. Everybody pays the same thing. You want to make an extra $100, you pay a little bit more. And so if you want to have a lot more money, then you better just work hard. But we all have skin in the game. We all have a consequence to the things that we do. And so all those who have been living off of other people, and I'm not saying all people, but those who have will now have to participate more. And then we will realize that we get rid of a mass of those people, and then we could deal with those who really can't do for their own, those who need the help, that truly need the help. And we're all about that. No one's going to turn their backs on those people. But we're getting a little frustrated for supporting too much of our population.
I think you're doing great. I think you're doing great. And, again, all the elements are in place for us. But there's really no reason why you have to lead out with cutting benefits. There's no reason why you have to scare people across the country that you're going to somehow throw them on the street or something like that. You can grow the economy and maintain things, and, frankly, the welfare state will wither away.
And I agree with you. I think if you create the opportunities for people, give them a path, it's almost like you don't give them the fish, you give them the fishing rod and teach them how to use it, and then they could fish for themselves.
Let me say one more thing. We're always giving negative signals everywhere as conservatives, and certainly as Republicans. We shouldn't be doing that. How many times have you heard our colleagues say, "Oh, these people don't want to work. They wouldn't work if they had the chance." There are a few people like that, but not many. Americans want to succeed. They want to have more opportunities, and a growth economy will create that. And, people who are unable to work, that's going to be fine. It's okay to have safety net programs. It's okay. But in the meanwhile, what our national goal should be is to get people employed and striving for opportunity. And that's what Americans want.
Right. And you've mentioned education several times. And, education is important just to the individual, because it improves it improves your character, it improves your thinking ability. It improves your thought processes and just how you deal with your life. And education is not just about working. It's about your entire life and the things around you, and I think we miss that sometimes.
Well, you guys are doing a great job. You know, keep it up. You're talking to real people about what we need to do in this country, and I'm excited to be a guest here.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. And please, one more time, your website.
I'm Jim Gilmore. I'm the former governor of Virginia. I'm chairman and president of the Free Congress Foundation, and that can be found at freecongress.org.
Jim Gilmore, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you again.
Pleasure meeting you.
That wasn't that fun.
Yeah, it sure was.